What is up, YouTube? It's Taylor, and today I'm taking you along with me to all the places that I've been. I wanted to share with you part of my journey, where I began with my living situation, with my career, and where I am today. A lot of you may or may not know, but I am definitely nowhere near my potential, and I'm excited to continue to grow. But I also need to stop and take a look at where I've been, and just appreciate and enjoy that journey as well. So I'm gonna bring you to my first place that I lived when I moved here, and bring you along. So we'll see you in a bit. So this is the first apartment that I lived in when I graduated college and had a big girl job. I chose this place because it was close to everything and it was relatively inexpensive for me at the time. I think it was like $600 or something like that a month to rent. And 2-bedroom apartment, 1 bedroom. It was, you know, it was an apartment, right? It wasn't super dingy or anything like that, but it certainly was not the cream of the crop, of course. So during this time, I worked, like I said, as a career, you know, in my career, and I got paid a paycheck every couple weeks, and I realized that was not, there's just not enough. So at the time, one of the leaders in the company actually introduced me to sales. She suggested that I start looking at a career in sales, which is just crazy that somebody else who could see more for me at the time saw that for me. And up until that point, and all through college, and I had worked and did direct sales. So I did jewelry sales, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it lit me up. It was so much fun. And the company closed, so I really was missing that part of, you know, the social side of things, the selling side of things. And so the leader of this company approached me about potentially switching careers into something more. And that's how I got into the advertising sales, was because of her. So just really, really cool how things connect and how you find places to live, you find jobs, you find people to work with and meet with and have coffee with and whatever. And it's just really, really cool. So I'm grateful that I'm making this video today, because I am being reminded that I need to continually reach for more and continue to tap into my potential, and continue to share with you guys. So thank you for watching. I'm going to show you the next place. All right, so here's another place that I used to live, behind me. Can't really see it, but I'll show the footage here as well. When I lived here, I was working at doing advertising sales. So I would go around to local businesses and sell them air in 30-second slots. So I did TV ads for quite a while, and then I did some radio ads as well. So being in that industry was a little bit more difficult than I think a lot of people perceive it to be. Typically when you're selling for, like, you know, like a TV ad or something like that, there's only so far that radio station can reach, or TV or radio station can reach. So it cuts down your opportunity from, you know, potentially a lot to a little, based on how far that signal can carry. That's, you know, again, not really a super big deal, but the types of businesses that I would be working with were typically smaller, because coming in as a new sales agent with a new, you know, as a new person, you know, they typically don't give those big accounts to newbies. So I would be working with a lot of really small businesses, and typically their budgets for TV, radio, digital, all of those advertising dollars is all in one bucket. So it's not like they had like these, you know, massive unlimited budgets or anything like that. It's that we had to, you know, kind of fight for those dollars. So I learned very quickly that it is a cutthroat business. Actually, no, I really wouldn't say cutthroat. I would just say it was a really tough business. And I did that for about 3 years total with both of those companies. And it was a really big learning experience for me, because I learned that people are willing to work with you if they like you. And if you are a genuine, kind person, you've got a lot better shot at helping somebody and essentially selling them something if you're those types of things. So I learned that, you know, that part of me really helped me be successful, semi-successful in that career. I was definitely, once I started doing that and I kind of got a taste for it, I realized that there was more that I wanted for myself, for my family, for all, you know, for everything. And it's because I knew that I had untapped potential. So I look back at these apartments and these places that I lived, and it just makes me so happy and so grateful that I've always kept that in the front of my mind, that I'm made to do more, I'm made to have more and help more. So that's been fun, and I'm excited to have you guys along to see the different places that I've been and just kind of see the journey. So apartments, jumping around from place to place, specifically this apartment I was working at the radio station at the time. So yeah, you just kind of like, you kind of, or I found that I did this, but you basically just elevate to the level that you're at. And that's why a lot of people have average lives, is because they set average goals. So, you know, my goal was to have a 2-bedroom apartment, and then it was to have a 3-bedroom apartment. And so dreaming bigger has really helped me to get bigger. And so that's helped me a lot. It served me very well. So we'll stop by the next place and I'll tell you about that. Okay, I have a funny story about that no parking sign. One day I was home from lunch when I was working at, I don't remember if it was the TV station or the radio station, and I was home for lunch at the apartment and I parked my vehicle there over lunch, and there was no other spots available, so I just parked there. And there's clearly a no parking sign, so I knew that I was breaking the rules. And I was leaving to go back to work, and I see a tow truck pull up and they start to take my vehicle away. And I think it was my Equinox at that time. So I drove a Chevy Equinox for many years. So they started to tow my vehicle away. So I ran up and I was talking to the tow guy, and he's like, yeah, it's already connected to my, vehicle. You'll have to call the towing place to be able to get your vehicle, because it's too late now. And I'm like, I remember like begging this guy to give me my vehicle back because I needed to go to work and blah, blah, blah. So I convinced him to take it off of his truck. I just had to pay, I don't know if it was like $100 or $200 or whatever it was. But I remember thinking that I needed that $200 or $100 for the bill that was coming out in the next 3 days or something like that. So I literally did not have that amount of money to pay him to take that off of his tow truck. So I basically made a deal with myself that in that moment that I would not ever let myself be in that situation again. So I told him I had to go get cash. So I went to the ATM at the gas station down the road, and I pulled out, the $200, whatever. So I came back and I knew that I had a few days to make up that $200 before my, that bill or whatever was going to come out. So I was so mad. I was so mad at myself for parking there. Mostly I was mad at myself for letting it get to that point where I did not have a couple $100 to pay this tow truck guy to take my vehicle off of his truck. It's just like one of those weird, really defining moments that you realize that there's a lot more that you could be having, and there's a lot more that you could be experiencing. And I found that my mindset is the biggest differentiator between the Taylor I was trying to convince that tow truck guy to let me off early or whatever, and the Taylor today. And so I'm here to share with you my story about that. So anyways, I thought you guys would, find that kind of funny, because I thought it was very funny. Actually, at the time, it was not funny at all. I was actually very upset, and now looking back, it's actually quite funny. So anyways, on to the next place. Okay, that house was the house we lived in right before we moved into our current home, and we lived at this house for a few years, and we completely redid and just gutted the basement. So technically it was our first fix and flip. And when I say we, I mean not me at all. I mean my dad and my mom helped, and Michael helped with the renovations. We added in 2 bedrooms and a bathroom in the basement, and just did an absolutely excellent job with the way that it looks. We were very happy with it and made a couple bucks, which was a lot of fun too. Before we got this house, Michael and I had to basically use my parents' financial status basically to be able to get the house. So we paid you know, we paid the mortgage every month and everything like that. We also paid for all the supplies and things like that, but we would have not been able to do that without my parents. So thank you very much to Mom and Dad if you guys are watching. I appreciate it. Of course you're watching. Thanks. And basically during those years that we lived in that house, I did what I'm doing now. So I was building a benefits business. And so I worked from home and I was running in and out of the house constantly. So, you know, just in the early phases of building anything, whether it's, you know, a side hustle, your personal finances, fitness, anything like that, you have to put in a lot of work and do smart things, a lot of them in a row consistently. So I was doing a lot of business building when I was living in that house and made a lot of really great memories living there. And it's really fun to see it actually, because, you know, you kind of get, you know, you get a little sad, happy, bittersweet kind of thing that, you know, I've been so many places and have tried so many things, and I'm just grateful for all of the opportunities that I've had and the people that I've met, because I would not be the person that I am without all of those experiences. So I don't know, it's really fun. So this house that we lived in, yeah, we worked and we lived there, and so it's about a 2,100 square foot house. So while we were there, the basement was non-existent pretty much, because we were working on it, you know, doing plumbing, concrete, all that stuff, and then finishing it as well, putting in walls and everything. So when we lived there, it was basically like we lived in the top half of the house, which was, you know, obviously about 1,000 square feet. So, you know, you kind of get used to the area that you're surrounded in. And when we had the basement was finished, it was like amazing. So we used the basement a lot. That's also when Michael started his reselling business. So he worked downstairs, I worked upstairs, and I was out and about, out of the house frequently. And yeah, all of these things make me appreciate everything that we have now so much. And I think it's hard sometimes to just jump into the middle of someone's journey without hearing the backstory. So thank you for joining me on this video, because I want you guys to see where I've been and realize that I haven't had what I have now for my whole, you know, adult life. That just doesn't make sense. You do have to start somewhere. So didn't come from, you know, I'm not a trust fund baby, and my parents didn't, you know, other than helping with the house and having their energy, love, and support, it wasn't like that. So I'm an average person, just doing unaverage things and pushing myself and achieving more and sharing my journey with you guys. So the last clip that I'll show is our current home, just as I drive up to share with you what that looks like. And did quite a bit of an upgrade when we did that. Went from 2,100 square feet to 5,000 square feet, something like that in our current house. Lots of more bedrooms, lots more space, and I love it. It's the gathering place for our family and friends when we get together, and we've been there for about a year now. So yeah, so thank you for watching. If you guys have any questions, please comment. I would love to hear what your guys' questions or thoughts are, and I'd be more than happy to share more details with you guys if you'd like. So I'll show you my current home next.